I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was staring, I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you can wipe off the grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack you.
What's goody? It's your girl Kia, favorite psychic on the tube, and we're back with another Sugar Free production. Today, for another Monday, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. Okay, I will be coming back and doing y'all 30-day prediction, but this is for the whole year. Right now, we're gonna be getting more details on Patreon about, lots of different things you can come to expect in the year ahead for the New Year marathon that will take place over there. But over here, we're going to be doing your energy, right? I did record a charm portion before this part, right? Regarding what's going to be happening in the world. And they told me to just put it all out there for you guys to be able to see. Like, it should be public access. So I will be following that, that message, right? I'm going to make sure I stay in alignment and do what I'm told. So you guys are going to see a lot of synchronicities regarding that message in this one, because now that I just laid out these cards, I can see it, right? With that being said, if you feel called to figure out what's going to be happening for the world, check out the Extended. It will be probably edited and added, after this portion of the reading. But just so you guys know, that's what's going on over here. Right, but this is more geared about like more of an almost personal reading. If you guys are looking for a personal reading, this will be the perfect time to book one, because I've already had a couple clients and they have already told me, some of these things are already unfolding and you brought me with a lot of clarity. I needed this pick me up for where I'm at, blah 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 blah. But a lot of my returning baby K's and customers, they typically like to book at the beginning of the year. It gives you the provision necessary to be able to navigate yourself and be from a realistic standpoint before you even get hit with the curveballs, right? But I'm done, doing that, like advertising is what I want to say. But we're going to dive into your reading now. The first card I asked is how you guys are currently like expressing yourself as a collective, and it just feels like you ready for this year to fucking end. It's a shit show. You tired of talking to people and realizing that they're stupid. Like, oh my gosh, I almost used the Nikki reference, but right now I'm so upset with her, like heartbroken. It don't make no sense. But for a lot of you guys, it could just be a lot of that. Like, it don't make no sense how all of the OGs are just coming out left and right and exposing themselves for the hypocrisy, and like they're like being idiots. Like, it could be that on like a grand scale. Some of you guys are like, I don't give a fuck about celebrities. They bleed like I bleed. I get that too. But it could be like people, family members. Like, why are we still having some of the conversations and the meaningless dialogue that we're participating in now? Why is this taking place? Why are we still repeating certain behavior patterns? Why are we still debating about, whether or not it's manly or not for a man to wash his ass, right? Like stupid stuff like this. And it's like, does anybody watch the news? Does anybody have anything of substance to pay attention to? Does anybody have anything of substance to say? That's where you guys are at. And it also feels like that for a lot of you guys, you see, like, for many of you all, you have your own psychic gifts and abilities. It's like, it's too much going on in the world. I got to get some shit squared away now. Like, I thought I saved so much time thinking about starting a family. And it's like, in this world, my God, on today, like, it's just a lot going on. Some of you guys could even be wondering, like, is this what the old folks say the end times look like? Because child is giving. I get you. The Five of Swords also talks about, feeling isolated and alone, like no one's coming to save me. I have to figure it out by myself. Or no one here really wants to see me level up if it means that I level up higher than them. You know, it could be, I feel now that I don't identify with a lot of people, places, and things, habits. Like, I know for a fact that it's getting to the point to where I have to make a drastic change in this upcoming year. That's where you guys are at mentally for a lot of you guys. And I feel like that you might even find yourself just almost discontent, like you're not maximizing your day properly, like you're not spending your day the way you should. It's like maybe you leave thinking back like, well, I used to go to school and work a job and hang out with my friends and then had extracurriculars, and now what am I making use of when it comes to my day? Like, how can I be more productive? Right? Some of us could be ruminating about people, places, and things that we've walked away from, but it's like knowing that you did it for a reason, or feeling forced to leave certain people alone and not wanting to. Like, I hate that I have to create distance between me and you, but I don't feel like you've grown with me. And I'm tired of having to go through this same lesson with individuals where it's like, I'm telling you, on my Harriet Tubman shit, let's keep moving forward. Let's escape to freedom, right? I'm telling you, let's do this, but you on that bullshit. Like, it's something like that could be significant. Some of you guys could also, feel really bad that you still are emotionally attached to someone that you had feelings for in a romantic capacity. It's like, I don't even know why I think about that. I don't even know why that's even crossing my mind. Like, I know that I need to move forward. I don't even know why that's something I'm even hoping for, but damn, like, that could be where a lot of you guys are at. It could be all those things or some of those things, right? I don't blame you. Now we're moving into the future energy to see what can we expect, guys. So I did ask, how are people going to be perceiving you over the next year, right? And it appears to me that people are perceiving you as somebody where it's like closed off, like you got a lot of resources and you not giving it up. It's almost like it's apocalypse and you were prepared beforehand. Some of you guys, you paid attention when I told you to start that garden. Some of you guys paid attention when I told you, make sure that you are investing in certain security measures to make sure you put up. So when everybody else is going, or God did this to you, you could be new here and you could have got this like, I'm going to start doing things on my own. Because I told y'all last year, we need to start thinking about doing things in the old school way. Bartering and things of that nature. Trade for trade. Separating from electronic transactions. And we also see that in your spread regarding the underlying energy that Christ wants to recommend you guys. God is definitely telling us to go back to the basics regarding growing your own food. Try to make stuff your own. If you can DIY it, do it. You're going to have to be on your Nara Smith shit. We're going to have to tap back into that. We need more carpenters. We need more doctors. We need more herbalists. We need more farmers. We need less rappers. We need less podcasters. Be so fucking for real. We need that for real. It's for real. Honestly. Because if you're waiting on assistance, this is going to be something that is stripped from you. And it's going to be done intentionally to get a certain reaction out of you. And there's going to be a lot of people who have become hyper vigilant and on being dependent on other people, right? And I think that in this upcoming season, I think there's going to be people who are going to try to freeload offer you. Like I was talking about, Avery, hey boy, but or my nigga, right? But we know how we was talking about, that that Boondocks episode when he got his FEMA check, or his cousins from like Louisiana was coming into town, they were just freeloading. And it's like he had this big house. People just feel like they got to go crash at his face and waiting on their government assistance. It's giving that this year. And it just feels like for a lot of you guys, something like that may be significant. Where if you don't get your shit together and have it, your ducks in a row, you're going to be the person that's freeloading off somebody. But for a lot of you guys, you're going to be changing some shit around so that you don't have to depend on nobody else, because you're going to get discontent and frustrated in this upcoming year, because people may even be trying to treat you like they want to nickel and dime you because they weren't prepared for the pressure. You getting your heads up. So don't say nobody never helped you or told you nothing, because people are definitely going to be looking at you in this upcoming year like you got money and you ain't giving it. So you got the tools, you got the masculine tools, and you ain't sharing it with the 3 of Wands. Like you planning your escape and you just ain't told nobody nothing. That's how people are going to be looking at you in the next year. Like a year, next year ahead, people going to be looking at you as coming on the come up. Like you're going to be dressing nicer, speaking more eloquently, and they're going to look at you as having a lot of knowledge and just keeping to yourself. You spend a lot of time trying to update people and let people know, but you're going to spend less of your energy, helping people that don't want to help themselves with this 3 of Wands. I feel like that it's more so, I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. That's what it's kind of looking like. If the people that want to be taught how to fish, you will help those individuals. I'm not saying you gatekeeping, but it's just not overextending yourself, because you see her door isn't closed, it's open, but she's not walking out there and helping people and dragging them into this, this utopia that she got going on. I can try to let you know you're not gonna be overexerting yourself. You might say little slight things like, oh well, if you was to do this and this, you was to plant your own stuff and do your own stuff, then you probably wouldn't need that. Or maybe you should get more friends that are farmers. Maybe you need to, maybe you should start a business doing it. It's like you're really trying to put people on how to make it type shit. But they ain't trying to hear that. They just want to dance. That's what's going on. A lot of that. And then they're going to have the nerve to feel like you owe them something. But you've been engaged on the master schools. The game is to be sold, not told, is what they said. But you're going to be just telling it. And people just not going to want to listen. They're going to want you to do. There's a lot of that's taking place. Some of you guys could be in a position of leadership where you might be getting a promotion of some sort, where you're going to be leading in the community people. Some of you guys do social work, because it could be that, or you, like I said, are going to be some sort of supervisor or a leader, to where people are going to be looking at you as somebody that keeps people at arm's distance. You understand what I'm saying? I do feel like people are also going to be looking at you, somebody that's going to be making a way. Like while everybody else is scrambling, you've been okay. So you already started, like I said, for a lot of you guys, planting your own fruits and vegetables, things of that nature, building things for yourself, or you was already purchasing the things that you need before you even got that space that you wanted, or before you even got X, Y, and Z. So now that they, for example, let's just say they close off international shipping options, right? As an example, if they was to do that, you'd be okay, because you done already got all the shit you want from Shein and AliExpress and Temu too. It'll be something like that as an example. People gonna be looking at you as somebody that just is comfortable in the midst of chaos, is what I want to say. And also somebody that was right about a lot of stuff, with this 3 of Wands popping up. I feel like people are also going to look at you as someone that is going to be going with the flow very well. You're going to be able to pivot. Like your next move is going to seem like it's always your best move. The major changes that you're going to see in yourself is that with the Justice card, you might elude some sort of court case, or something might, like you might get like back pay for something, or you might get a really large check for some of you guys. Someone may give you like a credit, or may show you compassion when it comes to court deals, like, oh, we're going to dismiss that and get that off of your record, etc., etc. Lots of things are just going to be falling into place for you. And it may become because of how you look. Doesn't mean they're attracted to you, but it may become like energy surrounding. Other people might come to court in their pajamas, things of that nature. You might be the only person that's dressed a certain type of way, and while young or whatever age you are, it's just going to go over very well. There's a lot of that. It's how to talk to them folks. Okay, a lot of you guys are also going to get like warnings, as opposed to getting locked up, in situations where you might get pulled over, etc., etc. But I also feel like there's going to be also instances where people are going to give you things that you need right in the nick of time. You're going to naturally be in the right place at the right time, all the time in the next year. So, that goes on to the saying, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. You're very protected, and things are going to be balanced. So there's no need for you to be stressed and worried, because every time it seems like there's a problem that arises, a solution is provided for you almost instantaneously. So you're just being called to make sure that you keep your prayers up, and make sure that you have a faith of a mustard seed, because that's literally all it takes. Okay. I feel like with this though, the same way you can pray and you can ask God for the provision, and you can do the work to make sure that you afloat, because faith without work is dead, right? So can other individuals. You're definitely being, in fact, encouraged by Christ to utilize the word no a lot more. And know that that's a complete sentence. Saying no is not the worst thing in the world. Sometimes that in itself is giving somebody grace. You could be enabling somebody and hurting them in the long run by giving them everything they need every time, all the time, when they can do what they supposed to instead on their own too, and work just as hard as you and get what they need to be, get where they need to be, how they want to do it, whatever, etc. But I do see that you guys are going to reap the benefits of your hard work. You're going to start to see the fruits of your garden. This could be literal or figuratively. For a lot of you guys, it could be both. Okay, because I do see you actually being able to receive a material sense of abundance. Some of you guys, this can be an inheritance of some sort, or this can just be money that is owed to you. credited to you. Things that are off, like some of you guys are going to be restoring your credit. You may be doing very good in school, for those of you who are going back to school, etc. But overall, I just see you guys being very successful this year, and in comparison to like other people in the world. I just see balance for you. Things just going well. Things that you wanted for yourself that you feel like weren't going to come, for those of you who were, wanting to conceive, or wanting your business to get off the ground, wanting to be able to stay afloat, or wanting to have financial security in the midst of where it feels like everything else, where it felt like before everybody was up and you was down. It's going to be your turn this year, 2026, or whenever you find this rating. It's going to be your year. Not going to lie. I also feel like you're going to have more options available in regards to what you should do, whereas you may have been limited before. You're not going to be as limited to the lifestyle that you want to live in this upcoming year. Major shifts that I see you experiencing over the next year regarding finances. I see you investing in either a certification or higher education in this upcoming year. I also see for a lot of you guys regarding finances, I see you investing in better technology. I also see you investing in overall, if you guys have a business of some sort, I see you investing in that, like the quality of, like I said, technical items. For others of you guys, I see that there might be a promotion that is taking place at work. You may get work in a competitive field. Some of you guys are going to be seeing success in involving yourself in that, right? So if you guys are doing anything that involves sales or blah 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 blah, you work in a position where a lot of people want this title, you're going to come in and get it, and you're going to be able to maintain this. Okay, some of you guys are going to have competitive pay, so you're going to be living very good and still staying afloat while also preparing for an advancement in the future. So whether this is like tuition reimbursement for some of you guys, or we'll pay like what they call them, apprenticeships. We're going to pay you while you learn. Something like that may take place for you guys in the upcoming year. They might even provide you with certain tools, off bat, like your school might give you a laptop or an iPad. I see stuff like that, or supplies, whatever this is, whether this is like you going for a trade or whatever. But I see for a lot of you guys, you're advancing your education while also making competitive pay in a particular field, or fields plural, for a lot of you guys. With the King of Pentacles being here, what's happening in your career, I see you, for a lot of you guys, seeking multiple streams of income. You're going to be able to see how the world may need a gift that you have, and you're going to be able to showcase that. So with this being here, when it says I've got superpower, a lot of you guys are going to be awakened to what your destiny is and what gifts have God instilled in you, particularly to aid mankind. And you're encouraged definitely to operate from that space. It doesn't mean that you're meant to profit solely from those things. I'm not telling you quit your job, because with everything that's going to be happening, you'll see, in the extended of this reading in the world, I encourage everybody to try to figure out how to have multiple streams of income. So if you have a 9-to-5, if there's anything that you could do on the side to make your money, if you can grow oranges out this bitch, then grow oranges and sell oranges. If you get a chicken coop, I don't care if you got dog cages and tarps and one fucking chicken, one hen, sell eggs out this bitch. If you can do hair, do hair. If you could do nails, do nails. If you got food, all that stuff, like you could sell plates, you could cook, all of this, whatever service you have, I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're gonna be getting to the bag and using like your skills that people always told you can make money off of that. You can make money off of that. You get in your bag and you're learning how to make your money make itself. That's what I'm seeing for you all. I also see a relationship, or people that are in relationships that are going to be able to support each other and stay afloat. I see partnerships that are in alignment in the next year, ahead. I also feel like that there's going to be a masculine energy, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. There's going to be a masculine energy that invests in you regarding your career endeavors, and I see that taking off as well. I also see that for those of you who have been working towards establishing yourself as an entrepreneur, I see a success in that regard. Finally being recognized, finally getting like the money that along with the recognition as well, right? But for those of you who do 9-to-5s, it doesn't take away from that, because it's just as valuable, like the essential workers and all of that, right? I see you making good money. I'm not gonna lie. I see opportunities for growth in that particular field, promotions opening up. I also see, because they want people to stay at work, they're going to start to give raises. You might get a raise where you were at. You might come in making a competitive pay and still get a raise of some sort. Something like that could be significant. I just honestly see a lot of you guys opening online boutiques or doing services, just like party planners for some of you guys, or whatever it is that you can do. You're going to be getting some money for it. You're going to be getting bookings in your sleep, like waking up to money. It's going to be opportunities that are coming out of nowhere. And they're going to be very practical. It's going to be feasible. It's not going to be too much. You're going to be able to develop a routine to where it's just money coming left and right. It might even come to the point to where you're going to be a little bit tired, though, because along with that, this, you know how they say, you know, it's a good thing side and a bad side to everything. So with this, you can't complain about having too much on your plate when the goal was to eat. That's just what I'm hearing and seeing with your spread. I just feel like there's just going to be a total transformation that's going to take place, and it is going to wind you. I'm not going to lie. You are going to be a little bit overwhelmed. I do see you, like I said, like having a lot of money opportunities. There are going to be some things that you are going to want to turn down but can't, because you know that you need the money. You're going to be trying to remain grateful, but you are going to be a little bit overstimulated, not going to lie. Especially for those of you who do something in the public eye, you're going to be getting recognized, and something that you took for granted in the past, you're going to be like, man, I miss being able to go to the store and nobody know who I am. Or man, I miss, like, you know, I was complaining about having all that time to rest, especially if you guys were laid off, or just like we just talked about how he was complaining about feeling lazy. Okay, well, enjoy your rest while you got it, because it's preparing you for a season of overflow. That's just what's taking place, to be honest. For a lot of you guys, you're going to be working a lot in this upcoming year. Like, you really going to be, like, deep in your bag. Like, both your feet in that motherfucker, basically. I feel like that with this situation regarding what's going to take place as well, I feel like you're going to attract people that genuinely like you, that genuinely respect you. You know, people gonna fuck with you off the muscle. That's what's gonna separate you from other people, because you're light, right? I do feel like there's going to be an energy surrounding, for those of you who are at work, you might be feeling as though people are forcing you to sign legal documents or to try to attach themselves to you and your brand. Make sure that you are protected. You do have rights. Make sure you go and you speak to somebody that's well adept in what it is that you're trying to do. Somebody that is just more than just a beginner in law or accounting, things of that nature. Make sure you get your stuff checked by not just one, not just two, but 3 professionals to make sure that you're making the right move. For those of you that work for somebody, there's going to be people that are going to be dumping off their work for you. They feel like they pay you enough, so they should be able to burden you with their responsibilities and yours. And it's okay. You're being encouraged to set those boundaries regarding what you are paid for and what you're not being paid for, and find a professional way to articulate that so that you are not overworked and depleted in the end. Because that's what will be weaponized against you. Taking care of somebody else and then leaving yourself to take care of last, then that looks bad on your end. So just keep that in mind. Don't overcommit to things that you cannot, follow through with, right? Because you want to make sure with this opportunity that you have resilience in it. So know when and how to put your foot down, and don't wait till it get overwhelming and overstimulating to do so. When it comes to your mental health, though, I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might be taking something more seriously, whether this is, speaking to somebody professionally about your mental health, or going back on certain medications for those of you where that applies, and really just prioritizing that. I just see you just completely disconnecting from people, places, and things that, stress you out, and being able to set boundaries with people and not even caring. For a lot of you guys, I just see you being frank, not being able to be gaslit, because I think that you're going to have a professional that is going to give you a specific script to deal with certain people that are stressors in your life. For a lot of you guys, I feel like that you're going to be actually paying for insurance or utilizing your insurance benefits so that you can maintain a certain level of equilibrium within yourself and state of mind. When it comes to your spirituality, I feel like that God is going to answer a lot of your prayers, and things that you have asked for are going to be blossomed. Every woman in the Bible, that you can't find one where her prayers didn't get answered. God always answers women's prayers. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman tapping into this or not, but if you are a man, this is especially as something that you should be grateful for, because God is treating you in this instance like he does his daughters. He He's answering every single prayer. So I don't want to tell you be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Because if it's on your heart to ask for it, then God is going to give you the provision for the vision. But I just see you guys, like, God is going to reveal to you people, places, and things you have to cut off. I feel like you're going to be determined for growth and evolution, and God has a purpose for your life, and He's not going to let you get comfortable with people, places, and things that are not conducive for your growth. Things are going to get shaken up. He's not going to let you get lazy, and He's going to force you to put the work in. He's also going to force you to develop a relationship with Him, and it's going to come if either you come to Him voluntarily and you learn through studying, or you're going to learn through trials and tribulation. So it's really up to you. For a lot of you guys, some of these situations in which you guys are going to get closer to God, it may come through situations where it feels like that something is lacking, or like you can't come through, you can't see your way out of things, and then God is going to come in the nick of time. For a lot of you guys, the second you start to lack faith, this is when you're going to start to notice more hardships in your life, or like a continuation of hardships rather. But if you continue to stay at it, and continue to stay faithful, and continue to stay on your word, and things of that nature, and to heed to the word that He's giving you, then you'll see provision in your life. So the only thing that can really cause stagnancy in your journey for the year ahead is a lack of faith and a lack of prioritization regarding your spirituality first and foremost. When it comes to your physical health, I feel like you're getting something taken care of. A lot of you guys could also be reaching a weight goal, getting some health things taken care of regarding benefits, either taking medication, going to the doctor. You're making positive investments. Some of you guys are eating a lot healthier as well. Some of you guys are taking an anxiety medication that might have a benefit of like appetite like suppression. So if you guys are like emotional eaters, it's going to be something that you work through. Or you guys are going to learn like a positive, healthy way to deal with stress. So you might start going to the gym. It's like a garden and things like that. You're going to find something that is natural, that is not hurtful, that is going to be beneficial or conducive for like your physical health overall. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're going to become more curious about, and you should, especially if you watch the Xtended, you should be more curious about what's in your food. What are you eating? Where is it coming from? You're going to become more knowledgeable of these things. And for a lot of you guys, you're going to be eating more organic things, truly organic, not just stuff with an organic like sticker. You're going to start to notice the benefits and how you feel. I think a lot of you guys are going to stop eating out overall next year. That might be something like the food might generally taste nasty. We was just talking about the chicken in the Xtended. So yeah, for a lot of you guys, you're gonna be like, oh no, they ain't finna have me quacking like a duck. You're just gonna stop dealing with certain stuff. Not gonna lie though, there's gonna be some sort of system breach. Okay, so I would get all of my money out of bank account as soon as you get paid. Either request a check as opposed to an electronic deposit, or something like that, because I'm almost certain that this year what you can expect is there's going to be lots of hacking. A lot of people not going to get their money back, especially now when they need it. It's also going to be system delays, systems being down. So take your money and get it cash as soon as it hit. Go to the ATM. Don't even play like that. Go to cash your check. Do that. I wouldn't spend too much time on the internet as well. All that doom scrolling. If you can't uninstall certain apps that you are not using, if you're not using it to make money or to spread the word, like uninstall. Like make sure everything that you're doing on social media in the next year is purposeful, because there's going to be a lot of misinformation that's going to be spread on social media. Not gonna lie, just so you know, and it's going to affect your sleep schedule and also your productivity. So if you want to actually get to the bag, you want to actually make sure that your mental and internal dialogue is healthy, I'm telling you to put the phone down. Log off TikTok, log off Instagram, log off X, log off Threads. Like make sure that what you're intaking is positive. Especially if you're not doing nothing productive on those social media sites, you don't work, you're not a content creator, something like that, don't even bother. And if you are a content creator, treat it like a job. I'm here to do work, and when I'm off work, I clock out. You don't go and worry about what's going on at your job once you off the clock. That's weird. That's insanity. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes to your romantic connections, not gonna lie, like you might be doing something brand new with a partner. You might be entering a new chapter in your life. You might be rectifying something or rebuilding. Not gonna lie, there's gonna be some conflicts in this relationship or in a connection that you have with somebody, but you guys are gonna be able to balance things out, because you guys are mutually gonna come through like a consensus, like this is something that we both want. Whether this is somebody that you're currently with or somebody that you're gonna meet down the line, this is just what I'm seeing. I see you guys balancing things out. I see a relationship, like for better or for worse, maturing. I've learned from past relationships how not to handle certain situations. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're going to be attracting somebody in a connection that's actually going to be a person of value. They're going to have their own money, and not only have their own money, but have something to give for you as well. They're going to be established. They're going to be mature. So it's like, it's going to demand a certain level of maturity and growth out of you as well. I think this is going to be something that you're going to want to maintain, right? And I think this is going to be something that also brings this certain level of anxiety, but you're going to be able to talk these through with this person and say, hey, when you did that, I feel triggered, and this is why I feel triggered. You're going to start to see yourself as a more mature person. You're going to grow a lot in this relationship, and that this person is going to make you feel more sensitive and safe, and are also going to help you to analyze your life in a way to where you see areas in which you are not efficient, whether that's within this relationship or not. But I think this is going to be a connection that is going to be very validating as well. And I think that you and this person are going to have a lot of like great sex, but I'm not going to lie, there are going to be some possessive or tendencies that you may have that might be highlighted within this relationship that you guys are going to be working through. It might even be like scarcity mentalities regarding like an abandonment, wounds, things of that nature. I think you guys are going to be working for that. I also feel like that you guys might grieve something or someone together, but I feel like if you lose somebody, I feel like that you're going to have a child right after this. Like something like that may be significant, or it might be a mother wound that you and this person may share, or that one person may have, that's going to be triggered within this connection that you guys are going to be in for the next year. But I see you guys working very, very hard to keep this relationship afloat, and to make sure that you're choosing one another on a daily basis, and that you don't let little things disrupt your peace. I see you guys having certain things. Like, you ever seen that show, This Is Us? No matter how bad things get, how nasty things get, they're able to talk each other down to a healthy space, respect one another's boundaries, and they're vastly different. One of them is extroverted and is a go-getter, and one of them is serious and doesn't have a problem pulling in the reins and letting somebody know, hey, I understand you have a big heart, but there's a time and a place for that. So I think that you're going to attract somebody in this upcoming year that is going to help you at a state in which you may feel defeated and restricted in life, and they're going to bring balance to you. Okay, they're going to help you to see the successes that you've already accomplished, but they're also going to help you to see yourself more properly, because you will have a scarcity mentality at times within this relationship and prior to meeting this person, and they're going to help you to be more practical to achieving your goals. And with this, I see a lot of success in love. When it comes to your platonic connections, I feel like that for a lot of you guys, you're going to develop a lot of like business or networking opportunities. Okay, you're going to meet a lot of new people through what you do in career or work. I also feel like this is going to be an energy surrounding, I feel like it's like bargaining, like service for service, trade for trade type relationships or connections. A lot of people are not going to have, the money for things, but I do feel like people are also going to be patroning your business as well. But some people are just not going to have the money for stuff. So they might be offering you things like, hey, I'm really good at this, you're really good at that. Like, let's go business for business, service for service. I see a lot of that going on in the years ahead. I also feel like for a lot of you guys as well, there's going to be people who want to attach themselves to you solely because they feel like you have a certain level of success, and they're going to be wanting a little bit of that. Okay, they're going to be wanting a little bit of your light. So there's going to be some people that you open yourself up to, and sometimes it's going to be worth it, sometimes it's not. Just make sure that you're praying to the Most High and asking for clarity regarding all of your relationships and your connections, because you are going to be dealing with people. Some people are going to be collaborating with you because they want to seek abundance together. Some just want to mooch. So just make sure that you don't have your head in the clouds. Make sure you keep your feet on the ground, is what they say. Yeah, crash box. Some people, you might crash out on a few people in your platonic connections because they might be fake and phony. I'm not gonna lie, but make sure you stay prayed up with this next year. Okay, we do have this too shall pass. That's biblical in itself. Just know that tough times don't last, but tough people always do. So with that being said, this will be your reading. As always, I love you guys to the moon and back and around the whole sources. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Good shit, right?
Stay tuned. The Trap Tarot Minister will be back with more heat. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
What's good, my beautiful baby case? It's your girl, Key, your favorite psychic on the tube, and we're back with another sugar-free production. Today, we're going to be doing this in a extended way. I haven't decided yet whether I want to break this up on Patreon or not, or just post the whole thing on YouTube, especially considering that Patreon is going to get the New Year marathon. I don't know. I'll figure it out and see in post, but it's been a while since I pulled the charms out, guys. And I feel like it's just about time, right? My intentions with the charms is that we see what's generally happening in the world for the year ahead, and then I'll put some cards to see more about you guys. But I don't know which portion I'll post or not. We'll see. Everything will play out as it's meant to, right? It is now 12:32 p.m. Monday, December 29th, 2025. I'm doing predictions for the year of 2026 with this particular portion of the reading, right? And then the cards portion will be timeless, okay? Meant for you whenever you find it, regarding what can you expect to happen for the year ahead in your life. So I just want to clarify that and get that out the way. I think that for my stoners out there, we're just going to dive straight into the messages. I think that for, God's people, many of us are going to, if you happen to, smoke and things of nature, many of us are going to go towards natural sources. Many of us are either going to start growing our own herbs or using natural herbs to supplement certain things. I also see an energy surrounding that there may be that the government particularly is going to start to infiltrate, what's on the streets, and they're going to be targeting Black people specifically with weed. So we're going to start to see, generally speaking, unfortunately, some overdoses and some things in the media surrounding, weed being this drug that is, people can't trust particularly. I can see that. And I also see that there are going to be a lot more, petty crimes, and people are going to say, well, this person was under the influence of marijuana. So there's going to be a lot of that. Like, there's a lot of energy surrounding being racist and propaganda, surrounding weed, surrounding like as if only Black people smoke, right? But we can see that. I also feel like that, I'm not going to lie, like, every time you go get some leaves and shit at the gas station, I'm going to be honest with you, they're going to be stale as fuck. On purpose. And this may be what, for some of you guys, helps you guys not even want to smoke anymore. I see a lot of you all, changing your eating habits. And I feel like for those of you who smoke in a means to cope, if that's something that you're doing, I honestly see that by changing your dietary habits towards eating something healthier, many people are going to report that they don't even have the desire to smoke anymore. It's almost like people are going to recognize, Black people particularly, are going to recognize this is not the same gas. Like, it's something off about this. It's something different about it. This isn't weed. This is something else. Something's going to be pushed out in the streets, and it's going to be labeled as marijuana, or it's like K2. But it's not K2, is what I want to say. Like, there's going to be a lot of that going on. For some of you guys, it could be that there's some people who are on, like, synthetic weed type deals, and it's going to come out that those things have too many, like, fragrance and stuff that I don't know, it's like some stuff that messes people up real bad. Like, real stoners know, like, we don't go into the dispensary to go get shit. We just don't do that. Like, like, I don't know how to explain it, but Black people don't do stuff like that. To be honest, for the most part, we don't do that. I don't care if they say they do the same thing. No, the fuck it don't. But that's just a warning. Like, it's going to be, like, recalls regarding that, as well as chicken. Not going to hold you. It's going to come out something about the chicken is messed up. Either that they haven't had chicken for a long time. Because did they say that, like, last year or year before, like, there was a shortage of chickens? But it ain't been a shortage in the store. So something's going to come out around chicken, and people are going to be like, well, we can't eat chicken altogether. I'm not going to lie. Meat is going to be coming out. It's not going to cook the same. Chicken particularly is not going to cook the same. It's not going to look the same. Probably not going to have no blood in it. The whole nine, right? It won't be fresh. A lot about meat. They're going to be trying to attack Black communities specifically regarding the things that they feel like, and it's racist, but it's what we can expect, especially under this Trump administration. They're going to be trying to poison us with what they know what they perceive most of us like. So weed, chicken, things of that nature. I also feel like that for a lot of you guys, the air, we're going to have issues where they're going to start talking about pollution in the air particularly, and it's going to be primarily in areas in which there's colored people of color. So there's going to be building of more factories in certain areas. They might hire for those jobs, but this is for a bigger cause, more so to cause health issues in Black and brown communities. I'm not trying to be political, it's just what I'm seeing here. I also feel like that there are going to be some people here that are going to be tap dancing. Not gonna lie, we're gonna see a lot of tap dancing. We've already started to see that, but we're gonna see more of it. And I think that people are gonna be showing their true colors. There's gonna be layers that they're gonna be pulled back. Okay, the reason I say that is because I see these bananas right here by this thing, and I feel like it's more so. How do I say this? It's gonna be surrounding like it might be Snoop Dogg particularly. Now that I look at this, there might be some things that come out about Snoop Dogg, and I see that he's going to be pushed as some sort of spokesperson for Black people. We might even be pedestalized in a sense to where he might be on shows. He might get his own show or something like that, and it's going to be like a thing where people are going to be like as if he's the representation of all Black people, as an example, or some Black person that likes to smoke a lot of weed. It could be like someone like Lil Wayne, but when we think about weed, most people think about Snoop Dogg, so you could expect to see him a lot. Like the same way you see Hello Kitties everywhere, you're gonna start to see Snoop Dogg everywhere, everything. But just know that that's done intentionally, and I wouldn't even entertain that, to be honest. We are going to see that someone that we possibly love or hold in high regard, someone that is probably like a Hollywood sweetheart, may die in some sort of like accident. Even if it's not like a Hollywood sweetheart, this might be just somebody who has like a really good like storyline. It's going to be just everywhere, like the people in the submarine. What was that, last year or whatever? I don't know. Something about the snow now. So people are going to be climbing mountains and going to go discover like cold areas, and people are going to be dying. I see that. I'm also seeing that there's going to be some people that are saying, oh, Jesus is coming. The times are here now, and it's because we're going to start to see plagues of frogs everywhere. Like, and I feel like they might be dead frogs, like an excess of toads and frogs coming places and things of that nature. I could see that. Not gonna lie. I also see that there's going to be some white people that are going to be going to Africa specifically and volunteering their healthcare resources, as if people in America don't need healthcare already. They're going to be bothering African people. It might even be in Kenya specifically, but definitely somewhere in Africa. They're going to be giving people medications, and they're going to be doing it under the guise that they're helping people, but I'm not sure that that's the true intention behind it. It is really more so to gain profit. Okay, I also feel like that they're going to be trying to attack the Black community regarding healthcare as well. Something about produce. First, a lot of you guys, last year I told you guys to start gardening on your own. Some of you guys listened, some of you guys did not. Well, the reason is now I'm seeing it in the spread again. They're going to start to mess with the produce, the meat. Okay. Also, I see something to do with the air, but this also might be water quality. I would definitely tell you guys to invest in a water filter, because they're really just trying to take us out. You know, it's just what it is here. I also feel like there's going to be an energy surrounding that. People are going to take a step back from big business brands. Okay, people don't care anymore about Met Gala and Fashion Week. There's going to be a lot of criticism surrounding that. Whereas typically we wait on the edge of our seats and we watch those type of things, people are going to be disengaged because they're going to feel like celebrities are out of touch with reality. We don't care about the ball gowns and all of these things when, you know, people are starving and dying and not receiving health care and getting their insurance cut off because they can't afford chemo, etc., etc. Like, too much of that is going to be going on. So for people to even give a fuck about the next pack, like someone's going to be so out of touch, they might release a purse line or something like that. People are going to be like, please, bitch, please. You know, it's almost reminded me of how for so long we asked Mary J. Blige to release a boot line, and then when she did, for her to be a representative. No shade to Mary, because I love Mary, but you know, Mary is ghetto fabulous, and that's what we love her for. But for you to release boots and then the prices to be too high for your audience to even afford it is crazy. And something like that may happen. I also feel like that there's going to be an energy surrounding some of you guys. We may hear release audio files, more and more of those regarding the Epstein files, but more so about like someone's bringing other people down with them. So pedophiles are going to be jumping off that crusader bandwagon thing, and they're going to be just literally outing each other. A lot of tapes are going to be released where people are going to be literally having either videos or conversations dealing or involving underage children. Things that I feel like they tried to muffle or stifle. There's going to be video evidence and audio evidence of this coming to the surface, more than what we have in the present moment. Okay, there's a blonde hair, blue-eyed woman, particularly that is a whore in the industry, and this person is going to be hung in the public eye. So this is going to be somebody that's going to be put out at the stake, and I feel like that it's going to be an individual here that thought they could do the same thing as white men, but because they are women, they won't get the same pardon, is what I want to say with this situation. I think this is somebody here that may get body shamed, or this might be somebody that was meant to, because they don't want to deliver a certain type of message to a demographic of people. This is what's going to happen as a result. We're going to take away your fame. We're going to take away your notoriety and things of that nature. Somebody's name could be Jonah, doesn't have to be or Joanna or something like that. Doesn't have to be those names. But I do see where it's going to be revealed that, you know, someone's going to be washed up. Somebody that I feel like it might be Erica Kirk, you know, something like that. It might be a scandal regarding her. We already look at her as crazy because it's like, girl, your husband died and you're giving us Cowboy Carter visuals. What the fuck is going on, right? But it's like someone like that. That's like, or it might be his preacher, his pastor, or whatever. She says to say no to Donald Trump would be like saying no to God. Ill. Like cap, like bullshit. It's someone like that. As an example, a white woman, specifically a white woman, someone who is either literally or theoretically sucking and fucking their way to talk. Because this is Blow Baby. My OG Babies already know exactly who Blow Baby is. This is somebody where it won't get them as far as they think, because they will at some point have a, you know, like it's something that they already let this person know, hey, I'll do everything else, but it won't be this. And they'll push this person to those limits, and they'll say, hey, that thing you said you would never do, yeah, we're going to actually do that. And if they refuse, which I do see them doing, it's going to put them in an awkward position. I also feel like there's something about Nicki Minaj when it comes to service as well. I feel like this is heavily involving, you know, debts. I think she's going to lose a lot of money this year, and I think that she's also going to be talking about, you know, like a documentary that we asked her for a long time ago. It might come out, and I think that she's going to be trying to expose people for things, but she's not going to have the evidence that she's looking for. So this is reminding me of, I'm not going to lie, like you guys ever seen that Knives Out movie, but specifically the one with Janelle Monáe, where she had finally emailed, you know, someone that she had worked with to get to the top. You know, I have a letter to show that you didn't come up with that idea. This was mine. I have proof of the fact that when we went to court, you lied, right? And this was directly like take all his fame and notoriety from him, right? And at the end, he still was able to get rid of the evidence. But she burned down, it's like she lost her sister, and she burned down like everything. Like nobody wanted that situation, all in all. So something like that may be significant. Nicki Minaj may get some sort of, I guess, validation, like something maybe come out, but her, you know, and Aphrodite also did a full extended reading on this as well, but I'm also seeing it confirmed in mine, where he says like her reasoning behind it, it doesn't justify her means to getting it done. And I'm seeing that here, and it won't be worth it. Like I feel like that she'll get what she wants, but at what cost? You know, something like that may be significant for her specifically. Okay. I also see that we're going to see a lot of children who are deliberately just doing things to harm older people. You know, I see that a lot. Okay. Something may happen in the park. People may have, like, they're showing me Cat Williams now and how he was brutally assaulted by those kids. Like, it's giving me that, like, badass kids doing shit they ain't got no business doing, no supervision, just, you know, thinking that makes them badass. And it's like that, like those kids that jump the mom and the kid together, like the pregnant mom and the kid together. A lot more incidents like that, but it's all a pushing agenda though, you know, for a lot of you guys. I also feel like that the music taste is going to change. We can expect in the music industry, people are going to move into a more Afro beat type of feel. People are going to be feeling the Afro beats. Either Rihanna might drop something, or it's going to feel like that Caribbean vibe. We're going to see more Caribbean artists come to the surface. Artists that make music like, what Marvin Gaye, well, not Marvin Gaye, excuse me, Bob Marley, excuse me, that's what I meant to say. Bob Marley used to make about peace and reggae. People might listen to a lot more reggae in the near future, and I feel like that people are going to be making music about, what's going on and politically protesting through art. I see a lot of that, okay? I see where it may even come to the surface that, some of these artists might be either blackballed or ridiculed, or things are going to come out about these people, but the masses will be able to see, they're doing this to attack this person's persona because they're directly juxtaposing like the propaganda that's being pushed, right? Let's meditate on what I see a little bit longer. Okay. Something about Campbell soup is like, I think that there might be an apology that's issued regarding that Campbell situation, but I also feel like they're going to get an endorsement by someone as well, that is going to make sure that they still get their business taken care of, especially during holiday season. All the shit that y'all was talking about, how y'all was going to not buy their stuff or whatever, either it's going to get dirt cheap, or people are going to start putting things in our face that we told them we was done with. So same thing that happened with Target. We can see that with everything else, but specifically with Campbell Soup. Okay. I also feel like that it's going to be, someone's going to be sticking their nose in someone else's business, and things are going to get ratted out about major corporations that give us food, particularly. So it's going to be certain canned good companies, similarly to what Campbell's was exposed for, putting things in our food, etc., and not caring, 3D printing the meat, right? Someone's going to be exposing it as well with other things such as chicken, produce, the marijuana, water as well. Because I was looking at water bottles. I don't know if you guys ever looked, but I was looking in the back of mine. I was like, what is all this shit that's in a water bottle? Last time I checked, the only thing that should be in water is water. I mean, I understand some preservatives, but come on now. It's a little too much. Something like that may be significant. Pork specifically. Like, it's going to get to the point to where it's going to put people in a frenzy, and what it's trying to do is attack people's faith. It's an effort to push scarcity mindsets so that we can react in a way that is violent, and it will enact him to be able to do something in particular to keep him on the swivel. I think it's something like a tactic. Whatever is done, it's a ditch effort, and it's a tactic. But I do see someone sticking their nose in other people's business to exploit or expose things regarding food in the industry. Lots of recalls, lots of things that are going to be, see people going to be wearing wires and things of that nature. All is going to happen. I could also see, to not going to lie, there's going to be people who are going to be wearing masks and makeup and presenting themselves as being one race to push an agenda, and it might get exposed that this is something that's being done, right? So wearing prosthetics to look like a Spanish person, wearing prosthetics to look like a black person, in the efforts to shade a community of some sort. I see that being done as well. I think that a lot of artists are going to protest by either not releasing music, or we're going to see either a lot of like people trying to get out of contracts because they don't identify with the people that they support. So it's like, okay, I'm going to put out a bunch of trash. So if your favorite artist starts to put out just nothing but BS, and then you see them on their social media endorsing like Caribbean artists and things of that nature who are independent, who are speaking and placing music about peace and things of that nature, then this is done with intention, largely due to the fact that there's a lot of AI artists, etc., and largely due to the fact that, a lot of artists are not identifying with the agendas that they're trying to push. They want them to push, drugs, money, bitches, get money, have sex, die, kill each other. All of that is what they want to push into media. But a lot of people are going to say, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. And if they do, it's going to be dumb, but it's going to sound like that Kanye West go poop, scoop, skippity doop, boop, boop. It's going to sound like that. Like, it's going to sound like a bunch of BS. I'm not going to hold you. I do feel like that there's going to be somebody here that's going to aid in protecting people And it's going to be a major inspiration for other people. And I think this person here, they may be a person of color. This person can be a musician of some sort. And I think this person here is going to be somebody that has come from a space of being ostracized, and they might be very small in stature or might have a small platform, but they're not going to be afraid to face the giant. Okay, because we do have a musical instrument right here by the evil eye pendant, but it's also by the stone, but it's on the karmic side. But I'm not necessarily looking at it as, inherently evil. I feel like it's someone that's not afraid, with the help of the Lord, to combat such evil. That's what I'm seeing. I feel like for a lot of you guys that most people are going to be very protective over their children's innocence. And I feel like that it's going to be from both sides, the unifying energy. Some people are going to weaponize the idea of protecting the innocence of children to push their own agendas, while other people are genuinely going to be concerned about that. That's something that should be going on anyway, but I feel like it's largely due to the things that are in media. Some people are just riding the bandwagon. Other people are genuinely scared, It just feels like that these are going to be a little bit rough for the masses out here. I'm not going to lie. I think that most people here, we're going to start to be very protective or defensive surrounding children and men specifically. It's going to be a lot of male pedophiles, particularly, that are be coming out. Not all of them are white, to be honest with you. I feel like they're going to be different colors. Different people. We're going to be disappointed when we start to see some of our childhood stars that we looked up to, that our kids, we're in the movies that we still let our kids watch, and finding out that they're pedophiles is going to be very, heart-wrenching. I'm not going to lie. And it's going to be evidence to support it. People aren't going to be able to, backpedal, okay? Some of them are either going to double down and start exposing one another. So we can expect that to happen as well. We can also expect that people are going to start going on vacations after certain things happen. And then it's going to be like, oh, a freak accident. This happens to so-and-so. God rest their soul, or blah, 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 blah. Right after, some people get exposed. It's like distractions, Probably somebody, it's crisis actors all over the place. So just keep that in mind. Some of the stuff that we see that's exaggerated, we're like, why is this being pushed? I feel like I'm being forced to care about, I'm not talking about the child pedophile thing, but in lieu of this being exposed, there's going to be other things. It might be just a random person. And I'm not going to lie, people die every day, G, but it's not that, when it comes to children, the future, that's a really big deal when we talk about people attacking children. But it's going to be almost overshadowed by other stuff. I can see where some of you guys, Pepe, may come back on social media. Some very unserious memes are going to be pushed in it, and things of that nature. People are going to start blaming AI, which could be why they started to make this AI so accessible to us in the previous year, because they want to be able to say that, we know these things that have to come out. We have to, in order to abide by galactic laws, the spiritual law, right? But we want to be able to instill reasonable doubt at the same time. So we can see that going on. A lot of that as well. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to want to hold themselves accountable, generally speaking. And they are going to be people who are individuals who make a pretty penny. They're going to be looking for individuals to blame. And many of them, or something about Iceland, people are going to be going to cold places and taking trips. It's like when they went to space. We was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Why is this on every, why do we care? Why do y'all make it seem like we give a shit about y'all going to space? We don't give a fuck about y'all going to space. Something like that's going to happen, but I feel like it's going to be going in the snow, and it's going to be everywhere. But just know when that's happening, they're trying to bury the evidence of something else. Just so you know. They may even try to attack other areas, but it's going to be a genocide that is done passively, because these people have came and juxtaposed the things that are going on. There are countries that are already for those of you that are in America specifically, that are hey, we don't like what's going on over there. And I can see where they're the government, it seems like they're getting back in blood, and they're going to be going places, but they're going to be disguising it hey, we're going to be giving you guys new medication. Because you see that you have this going on. Or, hey, guys, we're going to be giving you guys new weaponry. Or secrets of another place that we've, things of that nature. Those type of bargaining tools. It's in exchange for your silence, if you stop talking about the mess we have going over here, and if we can in any way make it seem like the rest of the world is not as good as what we have going on here, then that'll be wonderful. They would love to make people seem sick or impoverished, or to limit people's understanding of, the potential of how good it can be in other places. We have seen now that a lot of propaganda surrounding Africa, particularly, is not necessarily true. Africa is not in entirety this poverty-stricken area. As an example, I'm using Africa because I see it on the table, but I'm also seeing the Caribbean. I feel like these are going to be countries that are going to be providing, almost like these resources as an ally, but America is going to be trying to present it as if, for helping our people, we're going to be doing this, but it's a trap, right? Wouldn't be surprised if there's an assassination attempt, or, someone overdoses, or things of that nature. There's a mishap with medication, an allergic reaction with someone that is in overseas. It doesn't have to be particularly Africa, but with other world leaders, where we can see, if we were to pay close attention, oh, they've been protesting for us over there. Oh, they've been protesting. Oh, we've been protesting for them. So in return, we see this, right? But they're going to be trying to make us care, about global warming, and things about like ice. Something about ice particularly. I also feel, the government ice. Alrighty. So, some people are also going to be disguising themselves or pretending to be ICE agents, and this is going to be something that is going to be something we're going to be talking about a lot. Like, okay, not everybody that's coming and demanding, to come into people's houses and taking people's kids and stuff, not everybody is actually a government official. How do we know who's trafficking, and how do we know what's what if they're not forced to show identification? So something about ICE being exposed over the next 30 days. I also feel like that there are going to be some people who are going to be refusing to participate in some of these deportations and things of that nature. There are some people who did those things just so they can gain information. So we can also see there's going to be people who, might quite literally expose some of the things that are taking place in ICE. I've worked with people that were, in some of those concentration camps on American soil during Donald Trump's first presidential term, right? And they talked about those kids in those foil blankets and how they had to have assigned an NDA and things of that nature. But some of those things that happened to those kids, it was unspeakable, and they just couldn't go back. And those are individuals who was making really good money doing that. But many of those people I was working with at Starbucks, like quiet, simple, low-paying ass jobs, but they were like, it's a lot easier, and I feel like I'm giving back by being personality and loving people and giving stuff to kids. But because of what I see there, I can't talk too much about it. But they talked about horrible things taking place in those environments. And for a lot of you guys, you're going to start to see people were either secretly recording, or they're going to say, like, I could see blindfolded, confessionals. I see those people coming to the surface and recording. This is what happened. This is what I witnessed, X, Y, and Z, throughout ICE or whatever. Or I went undercover as this, and this is what came. These were the results. This is what I seen. This is what came to the surface. Blase, blase, blase. And it's specifically regarding ICE and the lack of consideration for people and families. Okay, so a lot surrounding, issues with deportation. And I feel like that what they're going to be trying to do is not just attack black people, but also, Hispanic people. A lot of protests, especially from the South and from Cali and things of that nature, a lot of that stuff comes from Mexico specifically, or other Caribbean countries and continents where black and brown people exist. So we can see in those areas, California especially, you guys can especially start to see where you're going to notice like a lot of the food, like Florida, California, Texas, Mississippi, anything that's down south or that's on the border close to Mexico specifically, or Puerto Rico, we can see where there's going to be a lot of propaganda around, the food that comes there is dirty. It has this in it and this and that and and it's going to get to the point of like, damn. You're going to hear people say that like, damn, what can we eat? And it's almost going to be said like in a joking way, but it's actually quite serious, if I'm being honest. Lots of food deserts in black and brown communities. Honestly, we're going to do your oil. Something about oil is significant. What are they talking about here? There might be conflicts. Like, what are we not fighting about oil? I don't want to talk about that. But anywho, we're going to move on to the personal portion of this reading. If you found any value in today's content, let me know. Feel free to come back and watch this as things progress. You know, I see just debt overall for us. I feel like that many people, companies we're going to be going on strikes from companies and all these things. And I also see a lot of relationships, people just not feeling like they see the point in it. Not because they don't love each other, not because they don't want to get married, but because they don't want their assets to be affected. You know, it's a lot of that. You know, lots of black and brown people back in the day that told us, like, you can get all these resources if you aren't married. So a lot of the things that have already taken place in the past, history is going to repeat itself, but it's coming back a little bit harder this time. Not gonna lie. So yeah, with that being said, this will end this portion of reading. For those of you who are, you know, clipping off here, I love you guys for the back and around the whole social. I'll talk to you guys later. And we're gonna move on to the personal portion. You won't even feel it. Boom. Bye.
Question is